The idea for the book started in 2005 when I returned to Egypt after living in the States for about 9 years. And it happened around the time where my maternal grandmother unexpectedly passed away. And I just felt mostly a sense of urgency to go back to Egypt and reconnect with my family. That was the main drive at that point. And then when I went back, her husband, who's my maternal grandfather, had also been really quite ill. So I was kind of confronting that, and I think I found an escape in going out on the streets and trying to reconnect with the streets and trying to resolve sort of these personal emotions, but also trying to understand where I fit in after living away, in a very different culture for about 9 years. And so I started to photograph with the intention of making a book, but not really knowing what the final concept was going to be. But I think even from very early on, for me, I really wanted to do something that bridged my personal narrative in a search for identity with what I slowly realized that the entire country was searching for its own identity, which obviously culminated in the revolution in 2011. So my general approach to making photographs, I think, is quite organic. I started out as a newspaper photographer. That's my main initiation into photography, and I think I've taken that to heart. But now I really only make pictures when I feel something that really draws me to photograph. It could be certain light, or it could be a certain charismatic person, or just a certain situation. So the selection of my family's archival album was really one of the most difficult parts. Because when you look at your pictures when you're young, you're never really quite happy with the way you look. Also for me, the problem was also having my family agree to being in the book in that context. The writing for the book developed over the years. I think the earliest piece of writing that I wrote was in 2007 when I had gone back to Egypt. I had been there for 2 years, and I had had time to really slowly reflect and remember and write what I was feeling at that point. And then some pieces of text I actually wrote towards the end as the book was being finalized. So in the exhibition, what I wanted to do was, marry all these different elements, the general story with the personal narrative and with the text. So really, it was working with the images and working with that audio track, which allows people to get a sense of the sounds and the emotions. But I also wanted to create it in a way where the audio sounds like a thought or a memory. For me, it's a very sentimental book, and it's not intended to be a happy book. For me personally, it's quite a sad book. I don't believe in photography as something that's neutral. So when I photograph, I'm always making an opinion about what I want to say, and I think the book is also a statement that's quite personal. And I do believe that, the story of the revolution lives on, and what's happening right now is just a phase.